Trump bans Huawei in US markets. China bans all government departments from using US-made technology. Microsoft policy leaders preparing for a wild decade ahead. The US-China tech wars. Trump signs China trade deal, putting economic conflict on pause. Don't be fooled. The US-China tech Cold War is ongoing. And in the end, we, the consumers, might well be the victims here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The long-awaited US-China trade deal. It includes significant changes to the economic relationship between the two superpowers. But is it a sustainable solution that can end the technology trade war? Unlikely. In 2019, the US blacklisted Huawei technologies. Since then, Android users have had to worry about updates and Play Store usage. And we may see further troubles in 2020. So, how do Donald Trump's protectionist tech policies affect us? Why is China's dictatorial surveillance network so dangerous for us? And what will happen next in the tech Cold War? Let's have a look. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. If US President Donald Trump is re-elected on November 3rd, many people in Silicon Valley would probably be quite happy about it. Why? Trump takes a laissez-faire attitude when it comes to data management. He doesn't even think of overly regulating tech giants like Amazon or Google. It's the opposite, in fact. By sanctioning the Chinese company Huawei in 2019, the US president was pursuing a geopolitical tech policy. Trump's goal is to strengthen American companies and weaken foreign ones. His problem? China is just as good at imposing sanctions themselves. The two countries are currently imposing tariffs on each other's products on a regular basis. This will in the end especially harm one party, us, the consumers. And here's how. Tariffs increase the prices of imported goods. Because of that, domestic producers are not forced to reduce their prices from increased competition. And we end up paying higher prices for everything. Smartphones, toys, even shoes and furniture. It gets especially tricky with, let's say, Apple products. The iPhone is designed in California, but manufactured in, you guessed it, China. By raising tariffs on Chinese products, Trump risks higher prices for American products as well. And since iPhones are popular all over the world, we'd all end up paying more than we do already. Trump is not the only one with a tech nationalist approach. China's government relies on digital isolation from the West. Due to the Chinese Great Firewall, US services such as Twitter, for example, are not available. You can learn more about the Great Firewall in our video right here. The Chinese government recently announced its intention to clean up all technologies. That means civil servants will no longer be allowed to work with foreign hardware or software. A hard hit for companies such as Microsoft and Dell, which are pretty successful in China. And the Chinese Communist Party even steps it up a notch. It wants to change the very nature of the internet, not only in China, but all over the world. You probably heard about China's new social scoring system. It's basically a monitoring system that will give citizens points for their behavior. Those who conform will be rewarded, but those who don't will be punished, on and offline. It was initially thought that the system was conceived only for China. But in the background, China's technology dictatorship is expanding more and more. It's becoming an export hit. The government of Zimbabwe already sends training data on its citizens to the Chinese company CloudWalk, a provider of facial recognition technology. Their software will soon be able to recognize the faces of residents on the streets of the African country. Chinese tech companies have also signed contracts with the governments of South Africa, Uganda and Singapore. Imagine George Orwell's 1984, but worldwide. Scary. And China doesn't stop there. The Chinese video sharing app TikTok is the fastest growing network in the world. With 1.5 billion downloads, it has even overtaken Instagram. And it offers extensive censorship opportunities for the Communist Party. Critical content about Hong Kong or the re-education camps in the Chinese region of Xinjiang is efficiently suppressed on TikTok. Freedom of speech? Not really. The clash is real. Data capitalism versus surveillance dictatorship. Self-regulation versus total control. For the future of the internet, 2020 could be a determining year. Both sides have a lot to lose. The two countries recently signed a long-awaited trade deal. This includes China buying 180 billion euros of American goods and services by 2021, mainly in the agricultural and energy sector. However, market experts are skeptical about the accord, as the text doesn't provide enough information to determine how it will work in practice. There is a lot of room for interpretation, and some say China may read it differently, which makes the agreement seem to be more of a PR stunt for Trump than a real solution to the conflict. And besides, technology trade is different from others. It is a truly global sector with highly integrated supply chains. It works best when it can collaborate across borders. A technological rift between the US and China would affect companies across all sectors and all parts of the world, and eventually us, the consumers. This technology Cold War will have no winners. What do you think about the conflict between the US and China? Let us know in the comments. And you know the drill. Like this video and subscribe to our channel.
1.